Hi everybody, my name is Laura, and the book we're going to read today is Are You My Mother? And this is by P.D. Eastman. And I used to always read this to my little boy when he was little, so it's a very good book. A mother bird sat on her egg. The egg jumped. Oh, said the mother bird. My baby will be here. He will want to eat. There's the mother on the nest. I must get something for my baby bird to eat. I will be back. So she went away. And see, she flew away from her tree. In the meantime, the egg jumped. It jumped and jumped and jumppt. Out came the baby bird. Want to see it? There he is. Where is my mother? He says. He looked for her. See him looking? He looked up. He did not see her. He looked down. He did not see her. I will go and look for her, he said. So he went away. Look at him stepping off the nest. He's taken off on his own. Down out of the tree he went. Down, down, down. It was a long way down. There's him falling. And there he hits the bottom. Plop! The baby bird could not fly. He could not fly, but he could walk. Now I will go and find my mother, he said. He did not know what his mother looked like. He went right by her. He did not see her. See, look at him walking by, and his mom is getting food for him. And there he goes. He didn't even see her. He's walking behind a rock. He came upon a kitten. Are you my mother? He said to the kitten. The kitten just looked up and looked. It did not say a thing. There he is looking and talking to the kitten, but the kitten's not saying anything. The kitten was not his mother, so he went on. Then he came to a hen. Are you my mother? He said to the hen. No, said the hen. And there she is telling him, nope, not your mom. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. I have to find my mother. But where? Where is she? Where could she be? He looks a little sad there, just kind of walking along. Then he came to a dog. Are you my mother? He said to the dog. I am not your mother. I am a dog, said the dog. There's a picture of the dog. See him up on top of his head. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. The dog was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. Now he came to a cow. Are you my mother? He said to the cow. How could I be your mother? Said the cow. I am a cow. And there's the cow, just very, very frankly telling him that's impossible. I could not be your mother. So the kitten and the hen were not his mother. The dog and the cow were not his mother. Did he have a mother? I did have a mother, said the baby bird. I know I did. I will have to find her. I will, I will. Very determined. He is going to make this happen. Now the baby bird did not walk. He ran. Then he saw a car. Could that old thing be his mother? No, it could not. The baby bird did not stop. He ran on and on. There's the old car. Now he looked away, way down, and he saw a boat. There she is, he said. So he called out to the boat, but the boat did not answer, and it did not stop. The boat went on. Do you think the boat was his mother? Yeah, I don't think so either. He looked way, way up, and he saw a big plane. Here I am, Mother, he called out, but the plane did not stop. The plane just went on. No, I don't think the plane's his mother either. Just then, the baby bird saw a big thing. This must be his mother. There it is. There she is. There is my mother. What does that look like? Yeah, it's a crane. I don't think that that's his mother. He came right up to it. Mother, Mother, here I am, Mother, he said to the big thing. There we go. You see it? He's sitting on top of the end of the scoop. But the big thing just said, snort. Oh, you are not my mother, said the baby bird. You are a snort, and I have to get out of here. You see how it said snort? That would frighten me. The baby bird could not get away. The snort went up. It went up and way up, and up, up, up went the baby bird. Oh no. Can you see? The scoop is going up. But now where was the snort going? Oh, oh, oh! What is the snort going to do to me? Get me out of here! Snort doesn't even know he's there, probably. Just then the snort came to a stop. Where am I? Said the baby bird. I want to go home. I want my mother. Makes me sad. He's probably kind of scared, don't you think? Then something happened. The snort put that baby bird right back in the tree, and the baby bird was home. Look what they did for him. They put him back in his nest. Just as he thought he was never going to find his mother. And just then the mother bird came back to the tree. Do you know who I am? She said to the baby. Let me show you the picture of that because it's really cute. Yes, I know who you are, said the baby bird. You're not a kitten and you're not a hen. You are not a dog and you are not a cow. You are not a boat or a plane or a snort. You are a bird and you are my mother. Isn't that sweet? Let's see if there's another picture at the end. Just shows them up in the tree. The end.
Hello, my name is Belle, and today I'm going to read for you Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there lived a young prince in a beautiful castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled and selfish. One winter's night, an old beggar woman asked the prince for shelter from the cold. In return, she offered him a rose. Repulsed by the old woman, the unkind prince turned her away. The woman warned him not to be deceived by appearances, since beauty is often found within. When the prince dismissed her again, the old woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a beautiful enchantress. The prince tried to apologize, but it was too late. The enchantress knew there was no love in his heart. As punishment, the enchantress turned the prince into a hideous beast. Then she placed a spell on the castle and all who lived there. The rose she had offered him was an enchanted rose. It would bloom until the prince was 21. If he could learn to love and be loved in return before the last petal fell, then the spell would be broken. If not, he would remain a beast forever. Ashamed of his monstrous form, the beast hid inside the castle. A magic mirror was his only window to the outside world. As the years passed, he fell into despair. Slowly, the rose began to wither. He did not believe anyone could ever love him. In a nearby village, there lived a beautiful young woman named Belle. Belle, unlike the other girls in the village, cared only for her books. She always felt out of place. Belle loved to read about adventure and romance. Her father, Maurice, loved books too. Maurice was an inventor, a genius according to Belle, a crackpot according to the townsfolk. Belle is even stranger than her father, the villagers whispered. Her nose is always in a book, and her head is in the clouds. Gaston, the handsomest man in town, wanted to make Belle his wife. Even though she thought he was a brainless brute and turned him down and down again, Gaston was determined to wed the lovely Belle. One cold day, Maurice hitched his horse Philippe to a wagon and set off to show his latest invention at a far-away fair. But Maurice read the map wrong and became lost in a forest. And as an icy wind whistled through the trees, he suddenly heard the howling of wolves. Philippe bolted and Maurice fell to the ground. Trying to escape the wolves, the frightened man ran deeper and deeper into the woods. He came to a castle and stumbled inside. There he was greeted by Mrs. Potts the teapot, Cogsworth the clock, and Lumiere the candelabrum, who had all been servants to the prince. But before he had time to marvel over these strange creatures, an even stranger one appeared, the beast. When Maurice stared in horror, the beast howled angrily. Then he scooped Maurice up and carried him off to a dungeon. Meanwhile, Philippe had made his way back home. Belle took one look at the riderless horse and knew something awful happened to her father. Philippe, take me to him, she cried, and she hopped into the horse's saddle. Without a pause, Philippe thundered off into the woods. When they reached the castle, Belle burst inside and searched frantically for her father. The enchanted objects led her to the dungeon, but just as she found Maurice, the beast appeared. Belle let out a terrified gasp at the sight of the hideous creature. She begged the beast to free her father. When he refused, she bravely offered to take Maurice's place. No, Belle, Maurice cried, but the beast agreed to the exchange. Before Belle could bid her father goodbye, the beast led her to her room. The castle is now your home, he said gruffly. Belle was free to go anywhere she liked except the West Wing. You will join me for dinner, the beast ordered. That's not a request. Still, Belle refused, and the beast stomped off in anger. That night, Belle slipped out of her room and found her way to the West Wing. There, she saw the enchanted rose by the window. When she reached out to touch it, the beast suddenly appeared on the balcony outside the window. Belle screamed and fled from the room. Her heart pounding, Belle ran out of the castle, mounted Philippe, and galloped off into the night. But a pack of wolves soon had them surrounded. Belle was helpless. Suddenly, the beast was there, throwing the wolves aside. Belle heard terrible snarling and howling as the beast and the wolves battled for their lives. At last the wolves ran off into the woods, but the beast lay in the snow, badly injured. Back at the castle, Belle carefully tended to the beast's wounds. Gentle as she was, the beast roared in agony. "I barely touched you," said Belle. Then she saw the look of pain on his face. "I forgot to thank you for saving my life," she said softly. The beast only grunted in reply, but when Belle turned away, a hint of a smile appeared on his face. In the days that followed, the beast tried to be a proper host. He showed Belle his library, and she began to teach him how to act like a gentleman. "Perhaps it isn't too late," Cogsworth whispered to Mrs. Potts and her son Chip the teacup. If Belle could only love the beast, this dreadful spell might yet be broken. Before long, Belle thought of the beast as her dearest friend, and the beast thought of little but the beautiful Belle. One night, when she was teaching him to dance, the beast asked Belle, "Are you happy here with me?" "Yes," she said without hesitation. But the beast saw a trace of sadness in her eyes, and Belle added, "If only I could see my father again, even for a minute." "You can," the beast said, handing her the magic mirror. Belle gazed into it and saw Maurice trudging through a forest. He looked frail and cold. As she watched, he collapsed into a heap. "I must go to him," Belle said. "He might be dying." "I release you," the beast said sadly. "But take the mirror. Then you'll always have a way to look back and remember me." With the magic mirror to guide her, Belle soon found her father and brought him home. But their happy reunion was cut short by a pounding on their cottage door. The townspeople had come to take Maurice away. Gaston's friend Lefault stepped forward. "Maurice has been raving that you were imprisoned by a hideous beast," he said. "Only a crazy man would tell such a tale." "But it's true," Belle protested. Her worried eyes searched the angry crowd and fell upon Gaston. "Gaston," she cried, "you know my father isn't crazy. Tell them." Gaston whispered to Belle that he might be able to calm the crowd if she promised to marry him. "Never!" Belle exclaimed. "And my father is not crazy. There really is a beast, and I can prove it." She turned to the crowd. "Look in this mirror and see." The townspeople looked at the beast in the magic mirror and grew frightened. "We must hunt down this savage animal," Gaston cried. After locking Belle and her father in the cellar of the cottage, the villagers rode off to storm the beast's castle. Luckily, little Chip had stowed away in Belle's saddlebag. After the villagers were gone, he used Maurice's latest invention to release Belle and Maurice from the cellar. By the time Belle reached the castle, the townspeople had broken in. Gaston and the beast were fighting on the roof. The beast managed to knock Gaston's weapon from his hand. There was nothing to stop him from killing Gaston. Gaston screamed for mercy, and the beast turned away from his enemy. Then Belle watched helplessly as Gaston plunged a knife into the beast's back. The beast roared in pain. Backing away from the wounded beast, Gaston lost his footing and fell off the roof into the fog below. Belle rushed to the beast's side. "You came back," the beast said weakly. "At least I can see you one last time." "No, no," Belle cried, sobbing as she kissed his cheek. "Please don't die. I love you." At that moment, the spell was broken. In one magical instant, the beast turned back into a prince, and the enchanted servants returned to their human forms. The castle came to life with rejoicing. There was no doubt that the loving couple would live happily ever after. The end.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, and I'm here today to read to you a groovy book, Pete the Cat and the Missing Cupcakes by Kimberly and James Dean. I love cupcakes. I love making them, and eating them and licking the spoon when it's done. So what do you say? Let's whip up some and let's see if we can find out who took the missing cupcakes. Pete and Gus were busy as could be. They were getting ready for the cupcake party. It started at 3. They were making cupcakes for everyone. Pete and Gus counted them just for fun. They had 10 when they were done. Oh no! Hang on! Some of the cupcakes were gone. They were sure there had been 10. Pete said, maybe we need to count again. They counted the cupcakes lined up straight. Now there were only 8. It looked like someone had taken 2. But who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then, they found a clue. Gus said, "Look what I have found, sprinkles on the ground." I bet it was Squirrel. She loves sprinkles. Squirrel said, "It wasn't me, it couldn't be. I've been at the spelling bee." Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. This was too weird. 2 more cupcakes had disappeared. Now there were only 6. Someone must be playing tricks. But who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then, they found another clue. Pete said, "I bet it was Alligator. He loves to eat." Alligator said, "It wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been learning my ABCs." Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. Now there were only 4. Someone had taken 2 more. But who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then, they found another clue. "I bet it was Turtle," said Pete. "I know Turtle loves sweets." Turtle said, "It wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been swimming in the sea." Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. What on earth was going on? All the cupcakes were now gone. Pete and Gus did not know what to do. They started looking for another clue. They found Grumpy Toad with icing on his face. Pete and Gus have solved the case. I am so sorry. It was me. I could not stop with just one. I ate and ate till there were none. everyone agreed Grumpy Toad would have to miss the fun. He could not come after what he had done. Pete said, "But wait, Grumpy Toad made a mistake. This is true. Let's give him a second chance. That's what friends do." Pete told Grumpy Toad they would give him another chance. He was so excited, he did a happy dance. The night of the party was so much fun. Grumpy Toad brought more than enough cupcakes for everyone. The end.
Hi everyone, I'm Merida and I'm so excited to join you for story time today. Today I'm going to read a book called The 12 Dancing Princesses by Bridget Verriger. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there were 12 princesses. Their names were Rose, Iris, Daisy, Tulip, Petunia, Bluebell, Clover, Violet, Zinnia, Lilac, Daffodil, and Poppy. Each one was lovelier than the flower she was named for. Although their lives were charmed, they had developed a mysterious problem. Every morning, without fail, the soles of the princesses' shoes were worn out and full of holes. And the princesses spent every day sleeping in the palace garden, snoozing and lounging like cats in the shade. The king had to hire a cobbler especially for the princesses. His name was Pip. He worked day and night to make shoes fit for royalty. Pip liked Princess Poppy because she always told him how beautiful the new shoes were. "They are so," she would say as she yawned, "lovely, Pip." And then she would fall asleep again, just like that. Poppy really liked Pip too, but she just couldn't keep her eyes open long enough to say so. The king soon became quite concerned with the princess's strange, sleepy habits. "How can I expect my daughters to rule the kingdom after me when they spend their days napping?" he thought. So he made a proclamation. "Solve the mystery of the sleepy princesses, and you shall have any treasure your heart desires, no matter how great." Soon, all sorts of scientists, scholars, doctors, detectives, fortune tellers, and philosophers arrived to lend their expertise. They studied the princesses while they slept, or tried to sleep. They inspected and inquired, searched and researched, examined and explored. Of course, all of this only made the princesses wearier than ever. The experts tried and tried to explain the mystery of the sleepy princesses and their worn-out shoes, but they could not. "If the brightest and best minds in the kingdom cannot help us, who can?" the king sighed, and great sorrow fell over the whole court. Only one person would not give up so easily: Pip. He devised a plan to solve the mystery and went to work immediately. That day, he made himself a pair of the softest, most silent shoes possible. And that night, after everyone had gone to bed and the castle was dark and still, Pip snuck to the princess's room, put his ear to the door, and listened. Soon he heard a stirring, rustling, swooshing sound, but not a single word, not even a whisper. Pip peeked through the door and saw all 12 princesses dressed in their finest gowns. They looked as though they were going to a grand ball, but their eyes were still closed as if they were sleeping. Are they sleepwalkers? Wondered Pip. But just then, an extraordinary thing happened. A trap door appeared in the floor, and its doors swung wide open. Inside were steep stairs leading down, down, down. The princesses descended one by one, still fast asleep. Pip crept along behind them, quieter than a mouse in his exceptional shoes. The stairs led to a cavern filled with a forest of shimmering, shining, glittering trees made of silver, gold, and diamonds. Perched in the trees were beautiful, jewel-colored birds, singing quiet lullabies. This is a magic place, thought Pip. No one would believe it unless they saw it. So he broke a few twigs off the trees to keep as proof. At the edge of the forest was a dark, dreamy lake with boats waiting on its shore. The princesses stepped aboard and Pip had to jump on quickly before they began to float silently toward an island. This is definitely some kind of enchantment, thought Pip. On the island was a ballroom with candles flickering and music playing. The princesses began to dance, twirling and turning, dipping and bowing, graceful as ballerinas. No wonder their shoes wear out every night, thought Pip. They're dancing. The princesses danced for hours and hours until morning. Suddenly, the music faded, and just as quietly as they had arrived, the princesses left the island. I can't let this continue, said Pip. He had read enough stories to know that kisses are almost always the best antidote for spells. But he was so much of a gentleman that he could only bring himself to kiss Poppy's delicate hand. No sooner had he done so than her eyes fluttered open, and so did all her sisters' eyes. Before anyone could utter a word, the forest of silver and gold and diamonds began to crumble into vapor and dust. The princesses hurried up the stairs and into the room where the trapdoor slammed shut and disappeared in a whirl of smoke. What happened? Asked Rose, rubbing her eyes. Why are we all dressed up? Yawned Zinnia. You were under a spell, your highnesses, explained Pip. You traveled to an underground land and danced all night. I followed you there and you broke the spell? Asked Poppy, who was quite happy to see Pip. Yes, I suppose I did, said Pip. Let's go tell Father that the mystery is solved, she exclaimed. They rushed to the throne room to give the king the good news, and Pip told the whole story. Do you have proof that this underground land existed? Asked the king. Pip took the silver, gold, and diamond twigs from his pocket. They sparkled in the daylight. I knew there was still magic stirring in these castle walls, said the king. You were more clever and brave than all the wisest people in the kingdom put together, and you have saved my daughters from their enchantment. So, what reward do you choose? 1,000 bags of gold? A chest of diamonds? A castle of your own? What is your heart's desire? Asked the king. Your Majesty, more than anything else, I'd like to ask for Poppy's hand in marriage, answered Pip nervously. Poppy smiled brightly. Yes, she said. Yes, of course. From that day on, the princesses were happy and lively, and they never spent another day snoozing in the garden. Pip and Poppy were married, and at their wedding, the princesses danced more beautifully and joyfully than they ever had before. And, of course, they all lived happily ever after. The end.